major donors to the Rotary International Foundation. Reaching that level is quite an honor, and Don and Margo have done that over many years of supporting the foundation. Governor Mike has a beautiful award to present to Don. Please join me in congratulating Don and Margo.
Don, I'm really honored to present this to you today. Don and I have been friends for many years. Don and his wife Margo have been friends of Carrie and mine for many years. And I've watched Don's contribution to Rotary. I know how much you've given to this club in terms of your time and your involvement. And this little token that I'm about to give you represents major donor status, which means that you've given the foundation more than $10,000. But as we like to say in Rotary, it's not the end of the road. I know you're on a journey in your support of the foundation. But significantly, our foundation stands for developing world peace and understanding. And when you contribute to the foundation, you're helping to build the road that eventually Rotary will lead us all to. And that's a world where we really care about each other and we live in peace. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Mike.
And may I say quickly that we have a beautiful lapel pin as part of this recognition and a duplicate necklace for Margo. Thank you.
Don, thank you. Thank you for your contributions. You and Margo, you make us all so proud. At this time, I'd like to invite Rod Grainer up, President of American Zhang Investment Council, for a World Community Service Project update. Rod.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. Well, thank you. Yeah, I was wondering, when's somebody going to respond? I was going to offer you all an opportunity to either give me a standing award or get me off the stage. If you'll, somebody check their watch. It's now 22 minutes after, and I've got 5 minutes. So all of you may stand if I'm too long, and if, of course, you can compliment me by considering it to be a standing ovation. There's an article in Business Week recently, here in August, about what's happening in India as far as the monsoons are concerned. And so we visited there. Janet is here, and my daughter. She'll get to stand up later, I think, because they're going to introduce all the Rotarians, I believe. But anyway, Janet and I have red dots on our head, and all the other folks do as well. That's a Hindu blessing, we understand to be true. Janet made a presentation to the group there in India, and it was interpreted from the English in 2 different languages for us as well. So there's quite a diverse audience there. This this project that we're talking about represented $137,000, and there were numerous clubs involved. Denver, obviously, Lodo, Parker, Boulder Valley, Westminster, Centennial, Evergreen, Longmont, Twin Peaks, and St. Vrain, plus Seattle, Washington, and Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Zurich, Nordland, and that represented the $137,000 that we delivered that day. Irv Buck and his wife Kathy, Janet, and I were there to do that. So let's open up the machine over here and see if it works. That's a gully plug, in case you're interested. And they have 600 of these gully plugs. What that does is slow down the water when that monsoon comes. And they've been having some water this year, not nearly as much as in the past, but you'll see that this has really worked. That gully plug is an example of 600 of these things located there. And Arrow, with the burgundy coat, burgundy jacket, sweater, Sinha Roy is the head honcho, so to speak, from the Rotary Club there. The next slide is the dam number 1, I think, dam number 2, that's been now finished, and you'll see that it's filled with water, and you'll see a little kid swimming there. That's probably the first time they've ever had an occasion to do that in that area, because the monsoons come and it's just miserable weather. Then they're gone and it's all over, and it becomes amazingly dry in that area. They're going to have 3 crops instead of 1 from here on out, and we'll talk a little bit more about those kinds of things. This is a wide view of the development of dam number 1, and you can see some antique type equipment, but it's working, and that dam number 1 is actually in place as well. And now that one also is running overflow. There's something like 2.5, I think the water flow dam number 1, and it says number 1 is 2.5 million gallons of water. They're stored there in August of this year, just now. This has just happened there. This is a spectacular time, because it's only been a year and a half since we were there in March in 08, and here we are in 09, and we've got water to that extent. It's pretty spectacular. The other thing that happened was that that lady that's in the foreground on the right, at the time of this presentation that Janet made, decided she would donate the ground for a school right there as we spoke about this. She decided to donate that because one of her sons had passed away, and she wanted this to be a memento to his life. So she did that, and that school looks like this now. We have a couple pictures of it in various stages of its development, but it's a pretty spectacular school. Inside, of course, lots of kids, some adults, and the effort that was expended to get that going. Janet has headed that thing up all by herself. She's raised how much was it? $980 of donations that have come in, because she's been making presentations all over the area, plus 1,000 from the Lodo Club and 1,000 from the Parker Club for the school. So this next year, all those kids will get a drink of milk every day, and in addition to the government gruel that will be handed out to them as well. Pretty spectacular kind of experience. That was the Rotary matched that money that these clubs raised, and that's one of the last that probably got approved. This is one example of some of the crops. That's a bamboo sapling, and there are 40,000 saplings now that have been planted all over the area, again, to take advantage of this water that's going to be there and provide for food, as well as that's a fruit sampling. This is the teak sampling. We got a cashew nut sampling, and then acacia sampling. Now this is the garden. There are 200 of these kitchen gardens now that are being harvested at this point in time, and that's a new idea there. So they'll have plenty of supplies for the families in their homes, and then also some to sell at the local markets as well. It's a pretty spectacular kind of thing. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. This last slide then is, again, Errol Sinroy on the right, and his crew from the Mumbai Rotary Club that visit there quite frequently, just to make sure everything's working right. Do I get a standing ovation, or do I get kicked off?
Thank you, Rod. There's so much work to be done, and you guys are doing such a great job with the World Community Committee.